So I'm out in my garden on a rather chilly morning, having a look and listening actually to some beautiful birdsong out here. We've got a couple of bird feeders over there. We've got the seed and we've also got the fat balls. And if you look at the birch tree just slightly to the right, there's a nest box, and that has blue tits nesting in it at the moment. So there's a great tit on the seed feeder at the moment. The great tits are slightly larger and they've got this lovely black head and collar and this black marking down their tummy here. The blue tits are a little bit smaller and they're quite a bit more agile, and as I say, they're nesting in the nest box on the birch tree at the moment. So there are both of them, the blue tit and the great tit, in the apple tree there at the moment. We do tend to get quite a few chaffinches here as well. We have a nuthatch that visits fairly regularly, which is really nice to see. We do have a great spotted woodpecker that comes along occasionally. Okay, so there's the great tit feeding at the moment. You can hear quite a few pigeons around us. There's a robin over there I can just hear calling, and I can see sitting in a rose right over in the corner. So there are several great tits now in the apple tree. It's as if they're waiting in line to have a go at the feeder. And I can see a female chaffinch coming down as well through the tree slowly to the feeder. Right, so I'm just out here in the garden this evening, just watching the last few birds come to the feeders before they roost for the night. So we've seen in the last few minutes, we've seen a nuthatch, which is quite interesting. So nuthatches are really nice birds that we have in the UK, and I love the fact that they are the only UK bird species that you'll ever see going head first down a tree trunk. So that's an interesting fact. And their name, nuthatch, comes from the fact that they can wedge a nut into a crevice in a tree trunk and break it open with their beak. So that's quite interesting as well. So we've also seen long-tailed tits in the last sort of half an hour come to the feeder. They're really beautiful birds with long tails and lovely pinkish coloration. They're quite small, so during the winter they tend to group together to keep warm. And we've got a lovely long-tailed tit nest actually down the bottom of the driveway in the hedge, and it's beautiful. It's made of moss and hair and cobwebs, and then on the outside it's covered in lichen to provide camouflage, and on the inside it's lined with lovely soft feathers. It's really well hidden in the hedge. It's a lovely oval shape. It's got its entrance hole near the top. So there's a blue tit on the feeder at the moment, so we've had quite a few blue tits today. We've had lots and lots of great tits. We've been hearing them calling all around us. I hear a chiff-chaff over the other side of the road with its sort of chiff-chaff call. A little bit of, oh, and there's a tawny owl actually. Yeah, there's a tawny owl in the distance. So early evening we tend to hear tawny owls calling to each other at the moment. I did also hear a green woodpecker slightly earlier calling. So we've got several great tits feeding at the moment over there. There are quite a lot of great tits in the area, blue tits, robins, chaffinches. Hearing the chiff-chaffs calling on the other side of the road again. So the birds are all just coming for their last feed before they roost for the night.